Welcome back, League fans. Game 5 of the day is coming right up with Team Liquid going up against CLG. And if Team Liquid can grab themselves a win here, they're going to spend another week on top of the standings.
Yeah, Team Liquid Academy is going to be coming into this game and just looking to take care of business. Based off the standings, they had a relatively easy week as they close out the first half of the round robin against the teams of Golden Guardians and CLG Academy. The important thing here is do not lose focus, close out strong, and don't fall victim to any trap games.
Exactly. You got to make sure that you're on that focused game the entire time. I don't think there's much of an expectation this time around for CLG to come away with a win, which means they may have the element of surprise.
Yeah, I think they might have more of an opportunity here than a lot of people are saying. Liquid has this propensity to try out a lot of interesting comps, things like the Yasuo, the Riven, and then we also saw Fiora mid. So they sometimes play a little loose, and CLG might have an opportunity to exploit those off-meta picks and grab a win here.
Only time will tell. So let's go ahead and get right into the starting lineups. On the blue side, it's Team Liquid with Viper in the top lane, Hard in the jungle, Mickey middle, Shoryu bottom, and Joey on support.
And loading in on the red side for this game, it's CLG Academy. In the top lane, FallnBandit, jungle, OmarGod, Tuesday in the mid lane with the autofill bot lane.
Autofill. Thematics is important. I like the coordination between those two.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I think we're most sad about with what happened with Piglet coming back to Clutch Gaming Academy. They lose, the solar system of Sun, Moon, Eclipse. It's now Sun, Moon, Piglet. Sounds great.
That doesn't work quite as well. Piglet doesn't quite line up into that theme as much. But all right, jumping into the game, Team Liquid Academy, 7-2, looking to make it 8-2 here. CLG Academy, the opposite side of the coin, 2-7. And we've been talking a lot about playoff contention here today, Mark, and how only 4 teams get to go, and we're at the halfway point now, and CLG Academy better win every game if they want a chance.
They basically need to from here on out, because like you said, top 4 only. You have 3 teams tied at 7-2-ish, and then everyone else kind of hovering around that 500 mark now, a couple teams at that point, so they really have to come flying back up these standings to have a chance.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where the order is tall to begin with. It's only that much taller that one of those 3 7-2 guys is pretty much the starting line for that race. So
yeah,
they got their work cut out for them, to say the least. Let's take a look at the bans. Camille, Sejuani, Galio on the side of Team Liquid Academy. CLG saying, you guys have already seen Zoe in 2 games today. That's enough. Also going to ban away the Xayah,
Skarner,
and the Skarner.
I gotta ask you, Flowers, you're such a huge fan of Skarner, he comes back for a week and we have our fun, see him nerfs come in, and now he might be the top priority jungler on the ban list. You didn't really get...
That's pretty dope.
You didn't get... That's dope. I would have thought you wanted more time of people like picking him, and he's like a little out of the meta, and he's like becoming a strong... Now he's just the best.
No, that's not going to happen.
He's already on the ban
list.
list.
As soon as I saw those changes, the E changes, I told everybody in the office, I was like, this is way strong. This is way too strong. This is going to be super, super broken.
Yeah, I was surprised it's hitting the ban list already. Like, it's like, I'm a Skarner main. We're having fun. We're on the ban list. We're going to get nerfed again.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to get nerfed again. I'm dreading that, but I'm just trying to remain blissfully unaware. I'm putting it in the back of my mind and being like, nope, that's not going to happen. Don't worry about it. We'll deal with that. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, Mark.
A lot of solo queue, get those wins before they nerf.
But we are crossing the bridge into the picking part of the picks and bans right now. It's Azir, picked up by Team Liquid Academy. Grabbing that from Mickey as CLG respond with the Varus and the Syndra.
Yeah, a little surprised to see the Syndra over the Rise. Given the Zoe ban, the Azir first pick, you think they're going to kind of complete that triangle of power picks in the mid lane, but they opt for something a little bit more early game focus. And given that they've already taken the Varus as well with no AD carry bans, feels like CLG might be looking to win hard early on here. We talked about how Team Liquid plays some off-meta picks. They also sometimes fall behind kind of randomly in the game, and then they make these big, huge, crazy comebacks with their awesome picks. But if you do just get a lead like that, because TL does have that propensity to lose early mid-game just out of nowhere, maybe with a snowball comp, you just end the game.
That's what they're hoping for. Let's see how Team Liquid wants to go about doing this. Speaking of snowballs, the Nunu being hovered with that Azir. This is the stuff nightmares are made out of, Mark. Oh, man, that's ferocious.
Yep, combine that with the Tristana as well. Going to make great usage out of that. You're in for a rough game here for CLG, potentially. If Nunu can go ahead, steal camps away, slow your game plan down, just be a huge nuisance, taking away neutral objectives as well, it gives time for that Tristana and Azir to really scale up and become nightmares of their own.
Let's see how CLG respond to it. They grab the Zac, so they want to make sure they have some engage onto this incredibly powerful back line. They're going to need it.
Oh, yeah, they're going to need it. They have a lot of tools right now to start fights and end them quickly. You're going to have to see how the rest of the matchups play out. But overall, I do like the CLG kind of saying, all right, we understand what you're going for here. We're going to go index completely the other direction with early game and engage.
Well, going into the second part of the ban, CLG knows that Liquid plays some of those weird, cheesy picks. They don't want any of that cheddar in their game this time. Riven banned away.
FallnBandit not much better, though, getting his got banned out. That's,
cheese for cheese.
Yeah. 2018, boys, just random bans up there in the top lane.
Gnar banned out now. Well, that one's a little less random. That one's pretty common in terms.
No, but Alawi, how about that?
Oh, we see.
Just before
okay, that's not even random. She's all over the place now.
Now, I'm just saying that, like, you know, even 6 months ago.
6 months ago, if you would have told me, yeah, today you're going to cast games where Skarner's banned, where Yorick is banned, where Riven is banned, and where Alawi is banned.
Yeah.
I would have said no. I probably just would have said the word no and walked away from the conversation, but now...
Hey, you didn't ban the Lucian, though.
You didn't ban the Lucian. That one's getting picked up. It's yet another champion that synergizes well with the Nunu as you get the auto attacks in there, and the AP, I guess, also can add to your ult or something. So
W.
Yeah, your W, Piercing or Ardent Blaze or something like that ends up shooting out and having a little bit of extra damage, but 280 carries. You've got an Azir. That is one strong backline, man. The Alistar and the Zac will have to get on top of these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be on them. Also, you have some pick-off tools with the Varus ultimate and the Syndra stun right away, so they can start these fights off a lot of different ways. The Lucian pick is a little surprising. I mean, there are a lot of options to counterpick GP with. You don't necessarily need to
do this Nunu cosplay.
Yeah, you got the Vladimir maybe, but they want some more AD damage, I guess. And like you said, it does work with the Nunu pick in that way, so we'll have to see how this works out.
This comp from Team Liquid Academy feels so scary if they get ahead, just because you can't ever walk anywhere near them. The Nunu's just gonna do his emote spam.
Yeah, what was that?
Snowballs at. That's the noise that the Nunu makes.
Yeah, is it?
I think so. I've banned Nunu the last 100 games that I've played. I have no idea anymore. But he's just going to throw snowballs at you, make it so you can't engage on his team. That's the point I'm getting at here. He's this immobile wall. The Taric keeps them all protected. But then again, if they fall behind, this isn't a super threatening team from behind.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's two very different game plans here where Nunu wants to run around, keep eyes on the Zac, make sure he can't get these ganks off, and snowball the game. The mid lane and the bot lane can focus on going even, which they generally do in those matchups if you're playing them well, and then your top side wins. So Nunu is on full-on track the Zac duty, and the rest
track the Zac. I like that.
And the rest of the team is just looking to hold on / play their matchups accordingly. It's still not easy. You know, like you can push in the bot lane, you can't get that push advantage, and then maybe you have to worry about a Varus roaming up to mid lane and flash ulting your Azir and stuff like that. But it's a very strange game.
Hard with the Summoner's Spellbook on the Nunus, so we might see some change ups throughout the course of this game. Everything else seems pretty par for the course for what you would normally expect. Syndra with the Comet, Azir with the Airy, Fleet Footwork, both 80 carries. You do have Guardian on the Alistar. I think we've seen Aftershock before as one of the options on that as well. So,
yeah, Guardian's a little weird in a matchup where I assume you're supposed to be favored. So who knows? We'll have to track that. And I do think the Airy on Azir, sometimes you see Comet, sometimes you see Airy. It goes back and forth. Might be a matchup thing. Who knows?
Well, Airy will provide more consistent damage, but Comet, you know, providing greater damage provided that the Comets actually connect. Let's see how it plays out. Bottom side, the auto-fill bottom lane. Can they stand up to the likes of Shoryu and Joey and Team Liquid Academy as a whole? Going back to that point that we were talking about even before Champion Select, this is one of those teams in contention for first place of the entire thing. One of those big three at the top against a team that essentially, I don't even know if their fate is still in their hands at this point. They need everybody else to lose like crazy, and they need to win like crazy.
Yeah, very difficult to see that kind of happening. Especially again with Team Liquid having players who are just so strong in their respective roles, where Mickey feels like at times he's smurfing. Sometimes he goes in, he does a crazy play, and it results in his own death. But other times you see him absolutely dominate games. So it's going to be a tough task for Tuesday here to match up versus Azir.
Tough task for Tuesday. That's some alliteration right there.
Yeah, having fun.
Yeah. Now, top lane that we were just watching, Viper versus FallnBandit. We've talked today about how Gangplank versus tanks, and they like to grab a ninja tabby or something to make it so his Q spam isn't super oppressive.
Whoa, that's what I'm talking about, Mickey.
But mid lane, it's Mickey forcing on to Tuesday here.
Mickey, the closer both health bars are to 0, the happier Mickey
The crazier Mickey's gonna get, yeah. He sees blood and he goes for it. Top lane, these guys aren't exactly healthy either. FallnBandit taking a bite out of that orange, keeping himself a little bit better off.
I'll be interested to see what Viper goes for in this build. This is when they had the buffed Lucian, if I'm not mistaken, where they changed his double hit to do more crit damage. Instead of 50%, I believe it's 75. Might be an 8.4 change. I'm pretty sure it's 8.3 though.
I'm not 100% certain on which one that is either, but I am certain that I'm seeing a Nunu try to take a bite out of a No, I was going to say take a bite out of a Drake. He's still alive, Mark.
It got real close. I got my hopes up.
Thought he was just, an ally has been executed from
Well, I mean, you saw Joey had to kind of run over there like, what are you doing, buddy?
Like, oh, I got to help you here. Give you the razzle-dazzle.
But it is an Infernal Drake, so absolutely worth it on the side of Team Liquid Academy, getting that advantage early on.
And we do see champions. There's a very small pool of champions that can do it, but we've seen Skarner do it in the LCS. We've seen Nunu do it here. We've seen Shyvana do it before. Just a few of those champions that can sneak one of those early Drakes away, and if it's an Infernal, if it's really worth it, that's one of the things you've always got to be aware of against one of those champions.
The other thing, too, is Nunu doesn't need to go back to base. A lot of those guys, if they do at level 4 or something, go back and at least get the first upgrade to their jungle item if they need to.
Right.
Nunu able to do it like you saw there. No upgrades, no back, no nothing. Mickey loses flash in the mid lane, but Omar misses the Q follow-up.
Omar did get a pretty solid gank off there mid lane, blowing the flash of Mickey, so now he has the opportunity to come back there sometime within the next 5 minutes here and try to seriously go for a play, especially once Tuesday has that ulti. They'll definitely have the kill potential there, but you always have to be aware of the Shurima shuffle as well. If you get too close, you could be thrown back into that turret as FallnBandit. Learning just how rough the Lucian matchup can be.
Yeah, no fun getting those double taps down on you.
Even onto your barrels as well, it's really easy to stop Gangplank from triggering those, since you can just take him down from 2 hits and he has to wait until they get to that final one. With Infernal under their belts, even though they're down 300 gold, Team Liquid Academy is sitting here feeling comfortable. You've got the Tristana for the scaling, you've got the Azir for the scaling. This team is fine the longer the game drags out, despite the fact that they're up against a gank.
Yeah, it is a comp that doesn't feel very traditional on paper, but does make a lot of sense. FallnBandit losing his flash as well now on the top side.
Viper getting aggressive with his Nunu showing up, knows that they could have made the play there, so blowing that flash pretty big. FallnBandit will have to really respect what's going on, especially because I want to point out, he went Grasp the Undying this game, so he had some extra lane sustain, so he'd get some extra health as well. That means that he didn't go into Inspiration, which means no stopwatch. Wait, he went Inspiration secondary, I apologize, but that does mean that he didn't go stopwatch still. You can see that he has biscuits, so there's no way for him to avoid an early dive if that's what comes out.
And it's something that I think makes sense in a way where against Lucian, compared to Gnar or Vlad, who have these tools to dive you very aggressively, where Gnar goes mega and slams you up against the wall, Vladimir goes into his pool, you don't really have that threat versus Lucian. It's a lot more about just getting poked out in lane over and over again. So biscuit delivery, as well as, like you said, that Grasp the Undying, focus on lane sustain, makes sense. And even that way, I'm a little surprised to see the flash out as the Nunu ran at him. Maybe his oranges weren't available, but if they were, that's the only CC available in that position. So you can play this pretty aggressive.
I like the early Vamp Scepter pickup from Viper here as well to deal with some of that constant poke and spam that's going to be coming out from FallnBandit. OmarGod shows up in the top lane just to sort of help shove this lane out, help FallnBandit have the opportunity to get back. Remember, Bandit has no flash, so that culling will be used, take him down very low, force him back to base. His teleport's not off cooldown yet, so kind of unfortunate for him there. Mickey going in once again, that patented aggression as Joey shows up, able to find the flash into the stun. The Gangplank ulti will come down as well. Tuesday tries to get himself away, but the snowball for first blood.
That's a hungry Nunu getting in there.
Hungry Nunu.
That kill was guaranteed. Says, why does my mid laner need it?
Ha 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 ha.
Hard grabs first blood away there off a great roam by Joey. Just good timing and good coordination to follow up on it. As Otto almost got stunned up there.
Did some fancy feet, got his way out of it.
But really just good coordination between the two. Also important to note, Mickey, as most Azirs do in this matchup, rushing the Merc Treads so that you have that MR early on to survive any potential all-in. That's why you feel safe going for the stream of shuffles. Limits your own ability to kill them, but it does mean that you are safer to go in and set your plays up for ganks, which Syndra is very prone to.
Viper continuing to put himself in a better and better spot up here in this top lane. The damage from FallnBandit just not enough right now to deal with what Lucian's able to output 67 to 47 in terms of that farm, but we saw Gangplank get smacked in lane earlier today and still come back and be useful in the mid game, but now it's Shoryu in concern of being smacked around. Otto grabbing the kill onto him puts this bot lane in a good spot for CLG.
Just a little bit uncoordinated there by the bot lane. Joe was kind of recalling. Shoryu was still playing very far up. He gets comboed. Then Taric kind of reacts slowly with the ultimate, not really respecting it until Zach was actually coming over the wall. But at that point, it was too little too late, and he died right away. Here's another look at that mid lane gank. You see going in for that Shurima shuffle. Actually holds it once he realizes he didn't get in close enough range, just walks on top of him. Very nice to see, and then a follow-up by Joey there. Phil was coming in range, so I guess I can understand more why he went for that flash snowball. And then here we see, yeah, that you see Shoryu was going to die there regardless of that Zac Q hit or not. So it was such a slow reaction out of the bot lane anyways that the Zac was kind of what prompted them to go defensive, but they were already going to die in that situation.
FallnBandit getting very familiar with the scenery under his turret in the top lane, now down 30 CS. At least he's got the sheen, but things are only going to get worse before they get better. Mickey getting the blue buff passed off to him so he can have more control here over the mid lane. 84 CS to 81, so very even contest between those two. The jungle is even, the mid lane is even. It's the bottom lane and the top lane where you're seeing those discrepancies. 88 to 71 in the bottom side, with Otto having a good advantage for himself over Shoryu here, especially now that he got that kill.
Right, absolutely. And this is why I was kind of questioning the Guardian choice. Like I was saying, you have this winning matchup supposedly. You want that Aftershock to force it even harder, but it's working out just fine when they combo it with OmarGod. And the gold lead pretty much even. And the GP, we've seen him come back from bad deficits before. Remember that Orin game? Yep. He was getting smashed, turned around just fine. So as bad as this looks right now, and it's probably not going to get much easier now if the Cutlass is finished by Viper. He can go and apply his own little slow. Mickey,
Nice stun there. Mickey forced to flash over the wall because of it. Again, good expenditure of the summoner spell, but last time we saw Omar get that summoner spell, they never really got anything else off of it. It's all about making that return trip as hard and Mickey. Thinking about the 2 versus 2 here. Over the wall goes Mickey, the shuffle comes through, the damage coming out, Tuesday taken down. It's actually Viper who makes that one happen, but it's a trade 1-for-1.
Yeah. Mickey was a little too close to the turret there, gets finished off. Used his flash there. I'm not quite sure what he was looking for. And now the bot lane, after seeing the junglers, goes aggressive, knowing that they win this 2v2.
They know they win this 2v2 with style. They get the better of their opponents. The Ignite drop down onto Joey. Means he's going to be taken below about 1/3 HP as Otto and Phil back off.
A little surprised to see that Ignite. I thought they were just going for an aggressive trade since they knew where the junglers were. Kind of looked like they thought that would be an all-in, but didn't have quite enough to spike out Joey there. He's going to live along just fine, and they're going to focus on sustaining back up in this bot lane.
Remember, when you're the Tristana, it's all about the scaling, right? That's all you're trying to do. Just cruise along until you hit 3 items, and then you really start looking for champions. Then you start looking for those big fights. But now Mickey in the mid lane with the Blood Boil. Remember how effective this is on this champion. It's great for people that use attack speed. It's great for people that use ability power. It's crazy on people that use both. Another look at how the fight happened here mid, though.
Yeah, so Mickey goes in, Shurima shuffle back. The stun on the knockback from the Syndra is what pushed him forward. And I saw the flash animation, so I was so confused at how that might have happened. But just a typical Shurima shuffle there. Trades 1-for-1. Trying to get his team an advantage, and that's good to see out of Mickey. He just plays so aggressive. You know, if this guy ends up on your team, you're gonna play around him. You kind of need to, because you can't ask him not to play that way.
Yeah, it's in his blood.
Yeah, it's either don't pick him if you don't want to play around him, but he does seem to have the ability to find his team advantages, which is always what you want to see. He has that aggressive mentality.
All right, on to Drake number 2 for Team Liquid Academy. They've got themselves the first one for free. despite the fact that it looked a little bit risky when it was happening, Hard secured it, but now it's not even looking that risky. He's got Joey hanging around. He's a Nunu that's plenty leveled up to make sure that the Consume will be strong enough to both secure this and keep him healthy. Spike plus Consume combo means there's not really much of a chance for OmarGod to contest it, and versus a Nunu, that's something you've always got to keep in mind. Those 50-50s aren't really 50-50s anymore.
No, not at all. And CLG Academy's bot lane had just backed out, so they were not in range to contest the Dragon and force them off it. So there you go. 2nd and 1 for Team Liquid Academy. Right back to lanes, right back to pushing, but Mickey's got no flash this time against OmarGod.
OmarGod making that return trip is what we wanted to see the first time from him, to try to make use of the fact that you blow the flash. Blowing the flash is great if you come back and take advantage of the fact that it's not there. But if you just blow the flash and then come back 6 minutes later, does blowing the flash really account for much?
No, not really. And against some players, blowing their flash is a great way to dampen their aggression. They feel like, without my flash, I need to sit further back in lane. Generally, I can't expose myself to the same
This
thing.
ain't the right guy to do that.
That's not Mickey.
No.
Just getting a flash versus Mickey is not going to make him think he needs to play that much further back. So, Mickey, as you can see now, roaming up to the top side with that advantage he has, wants to dive FallnBandit potentially.
All right, there you go. Ulti comes out, damage goes through, but the Gangplank ultimate will clear out some of the minions and put the damage down on the Viper they need to allow FallnBandit to escape. However, he's not going to escape unscathed. His turret will fall. That's turret first blood of the game, with the gold going over to these carries on the side of Team Liquid.
Got to be careful to play on the mirror side of the map, though. With those many people showing up on the top side, CLG wants to play in the bot lane.
But Hard is here. He's made his way down to try to protect these guys. It's not enough. Joey just eviscerated.
Gets destroyed for walking up there. Just wanted to get a stun in front of 4 people. Is super greedy. Wasn't channeling his ult as he did it, so he goes down for free. And CLG able to answer this turret back. And this is kind of what we were saying in the pregame. Team Liquid Academy makes some mistakes in the early game. They sometimes fall behind. They also pick weird stuff. So if you can get an advantage here, you might be able to take this game against the heavy favorites.
Still difficult, but still possible. Small gold lead nonetheless, but it's all about transitioning, because you talked about, Mark, the strange nature of the composition of Team Liquid Academy. And we mentioned how these guys play weird stuff, and that can be one of the weaknesses they have. But again, this comp is so scary if it gets far ahead, and seemingly not as much if it falls behind, just because the tank line is limited, the engage power is limited. So this team needs to be ahead. CLG going to do their best to make sure they don't put themselves in a spot where they're having to fight that uphill battle.
And the first thing they need to do is find better vision control. I mean, you have the Syndra, you have the Varus. I know it's against the Nunu and it's difficult, but you can see Hard and Joey working well together there to make sure that they have vision control and they can feel safe continuing to push up. Mickey, with that vision, wants to play aggressive as well.
1 versus 1, not going to be that way for long. The rotation comes in to make sure it is 1-for-1, but it's Mickey who ultimately kills Tuesday first.
Yeah, Joey gets from the jungle down to the mid lane fast enough to provide the shields for Mickey to stay alive long enough to finish off Tuesday. And there we see that aggressive play we're talking about out of Mickey. Barely able to get that kill. It looked like Tuesday might have been able to just run away from that situation and allow his tanks to get the cleanup kills. Not too sure, but either way, they get those kills. And this is why you want to see CLG get more vision control, so Mickey doesn't feel safe doing that kind of stuff. And he's playing more on the back foot, hopefully, and maybe Auto gets a roam off now that the map's opened up a little bit more. As you see here, goes in, gets a lot of nice damage down, wants to zone away with the ultimate, but doesn't quite do it. And then, yeah, Tuesday walks back into range.
Hate to see that happen, but sometimes you just put yourself too far into the fight thinking maybe you're already dead. You go back, try to finish off the kill yourself, but could have walked away. Tuesday 1-3 now on the Syndra, 1-2 for Mickey's Azir. Neither one of these guys currently sporting more kills than deaths. And if I'm looking across the board, I'm seeing power spikes come online multiple different places. Blade of the Ruined King for Lucian, Trinity Force for Gangplank. The Ginsu's Rage Blade for Auto is online, so he's much, much stronger than Shoryu's Tristana is, but still has pieces of an Infinity Edge. The engage onto Joey. He doesn't have the chance to make himself invulnerable, even if it was off cooldown, which I do not believe it is.
Nope, looks like it's still on cooldown there after using it in that mid lane skirmish. And here, Team Liquid Academy playing a little too fast for their own composition. They're very much a team fight focused comp with their 4-man core and a split pushing Lucian. not really playing around their cooldowns, not really playing around their power spikes, like you said. A lot of big wins coming in for CLG Academy there. And just not really respecting the vision. There's a pink ward in that brush that made it so Joey didn't know who was in that brush. Walked a little too close, and he's dead for it.
OmarGod trying to move forward, steal some camps away from Hard, but problem is with Nunu, he can smite every camp because he consumes it. Top side is FallnBandit versus Mickey in a fight that easily favors Mickey. The soldiers put into a position to stop the escape route, and Mickey picks up the solo kill.
Oh, the roaming Azir making big plays happen. Got up to the top lane twice now. Does vacate the mid lane, which allows a counter push, but they have to be careful because here comes the flanking Azir.
Flanking Azir, roaming Azir, going wherever the chance is to get some kills, but he's actually the one who gets killed this time around. A killing spree for Otto off that one.
Roaming Azir, flanking Azir, dead Azir.
Yeah.
Third one, not quite as desirable as the first two.
No, try to stay away from that one, I think.
And that's why, you know, he's got merc treads. Maybe he feels like he's a little safer than he really is, but really not much coordination at all seen in the team comp with Team Liquid yet. Joey dying without getting his ultimate off a single time that it would have mattered. Maybe that once in the mid lane saved himself, but overall, Team Liquid struggling to get on the same page here.
And that's what we talked about, Mark. Maybe Team Liquid's just going to underestimate CLG, walk into this one thinking, oh, this game shouldn't be too much of a challenge. Just kind of do whatever and we'll win. Kind of doing whatever isn't working out so far. Tuesday, going to be hurt by Shoryu, but Shoryu just jumps into a Syndra and gets ulted because he's Tristana.
FallnBandit collapsing as well made that a little difficult. The old rocket jump in, E, auto, buster shot away, execute. Doesn't look that cool when you die and the other person lives.
No, not at all. You could see Joey trying to protect him there with the invulnerability, but it takes a second and a half to activate. Shoryu was already dead.
We're saying, man. Team Liquid just not looking too great in their comp. They also lost their first neutral objective off that one, the Ocean Dragon going down. But despite that, they're still pushing in their lanes. You see here, Mickey getting a lot of damage down this mid lane turret. Might be greeting out as Phil wraps around the side.
Phil coming in, but Mickey's got the escape route set up with the soldier. And talking about that dragon, you really hate to see that happen when you've got Nunu. Let's take another look.
You know
at
what else I hate to see happen, Captain Flowers?
This.
E, auto, ult away. Cool guys, don't look at explosions. Except the other Syndra lives and you died, so not the best play there.
Not the greatest, but losing that Drake on the side of Team Liquid, it feels really bad when you've got the Nunu, because I'm going to reference the immortal words of the Odd One. The whole point of playing Nunu is to make the other guy more useless than you are. And if you're not securing every neutral objective, you're not making him as useless as possible.
Yeah, it's going to have knock-on effects once the Elder Dragon spawns. It would be nice to have more Elemental Drakes for yourself. Usually Nunu comps are looking to pick that up in the late game, especially with Azir, Tristana, you melt them down very quickly. Roman Azir wants another crack at this GP. He's only killed him twice so far, or once, I guess.
Yeah, it was only once because he got the other kill into Tuesday. He's got to add another notch in his belt, but FallnBandit knows something's up, gets himself away. Shoryu jumping away from Otto here as well. The power difference between these two is just incomparable at this point. Wit's End completed along with the Ginsu's Rage Blade. Means Otto's doing a lot of on-hit damage. Tuesday stunned up, definitely going down this time.
Mickey makes his next aggressive play in the mid lane, forces onto Tuesday. They get the kill. Had to blow a couple flashes to make it work, but it's done enough damage that they can probably take this mid lane turret, but CLG's putting up a defense.
CLG saying, not on our watch, sir, not today. And it's actually the second time that Tuesday's been killed by a flash stun finding its way onto that Syndra from Joey. So good plays there. We've talked about how his ults haven't quite been on point this game, but the flash stuns have done work.
Yeah, he's been doing the other parts well. And here,
and to the dive they go, but is it going to be enough? The turret goes down, and now CLG fighting an open ground, not really where they want to be. Otto having some time to put some auto attacks down, but it's Mickey's turret being raised from the ruins that makes this fight stop.
I'm pretty sure Joey had ult there, and this time he was like, I'm not saving that guy in time. I'm not even going to try. Doesn't drop the ult, holds it for later. They get the kill for CLG, but they also lose their turret. That roam that came in from Mickey earlier down the bot lane way before that also got them their bot lane turret because, like you said, they felt it coming in. Here, though, Mickey, no flash.
Oh, Mickey caught between three different people trying to get himself over the wall, and caught don't feel so bad anymore.
Nope, gets out, scot-free, wasting some more of CLG's time. Mickey, just follow that man, put the camera on him, press D, or S. manual camera, leave it on him. All the action happens around Mickey. There you see the Taric just not even bothering to ult, just let him die. You know,
he's gone, man. Yeah. He's like, I tried this last time and this was stupid. We're not doing it again.
Yeah, not gonna get the ult off in time. Tried to stun the Zac, but not gonna end up mattering. Kill goes through. 5 to 8 for kills in CLG's favor. They have the gold lead, but 3 kills for TLA. So this is one of those games where if CLG gets pressure back at any point and starts breaking these turrets down, they actually probably come back in this game very quickly.
And look at where your Gangplank is. He was getting bullied early on, but now he's got himself at a decent point in the game. Speaking of decent spots to be in, Team Liquid Academy working on this Baron with a 2-man. They decide to commit to it, and they got it. OmarGod wants to steal it away, but not this time. Team Liquid with the risky move that pays off. The Shurima shuffle doesn't shuffle him away fast enough, or does it? Does Mickey? Nope.
Nope. Like I said, just put the camera on Mickey. It's all you need. He goes and does a Baron buff, and then he dies right after. Viper wants some attention, gets disengaged. Has to be careful. CLG's collapsing.
Healing right back up. FallnBandit now finding himself in the middle of a 4-way Team Liquid party. As Tuesday barely getting himself away, but the calling comes out, and Viper's got the shots he needs. Phil, now the one caught out of position. He's got the ulti on, but all it's going to do is delay the inevitable. He's going after Shoryu, but I don't think the Alistar's got the damage, Mark.
Nope, doesn't quite have it. CLG Academy starting to get desperate. They kill Mickey, and TLA doesn't care. They keep getting aggressive now. Viper diving a turret onto OmarGod.
Viper saying, all right, we'll get him here. Instead, he gets the stopwatch. OmarGod trying to keep himself alive. I do think he has the passive up, but he didn't want to lose that, so he can still have the engage potential next time. Auto walking himself out. Snowball finds its way onto him, which will slow him down, make it very hard for him to fight and try to defend this one. Mid lane inhibitor falls. CLG Academy losing control of the game.
Yep, that went from bad to worse very quickly. CLG, like we said, the gold lead is not really the problem, it's the pressure that exists right now, where Team Liquid is just constantly forcing action here. And this huge skirmish started off with Viper just trying to hop onto Tuesday. FallnBandit wants to move into support, but was not really paying attention to where Team Liquid Academy would be. You see pretty aggressive by Viper there, tries to get disengaged, but the slow not off yet, so the culling collapses in on him, and then Phil gives his life up for his team to escape. One of those things where the enemy team just forced Baron buff, so you know most people are probably around the top side of the map, so FallnBandit just took a really unsafe path there, leading to that situation that results in their mid inhibitor going down.
Yeah, it's always a problematic thing when somebody's not quite aware of exactly what's happening around them, where they should potentially path to make their way into the fight, because you want to be there. You don't want to be late to the fight, but if you take that shortcut and you get caught out, man, it's disastrous.
It's one of the most important things for competitive play. A lot of people have game knowledge of what champions do and how to play them and this and that, but what they're often lacking is the kind of inferred game knowledge or game sense you often hear people talk about, where you don't actually have anything to make you know that information, but you just have to feel it. Like, they just took Baron buff.
It's a gut type of feeling.
Yeah, they just took Baron buff. They should be around topside. I should not be safe running through this river. And there, you see him get punished for it. So it's just this feeling that you gotta have if you want to compete at the top level.
The push now continues from Team Liquid Academy. They got the Baron buff for themselves. As you can see on the bottom part of your screen right now, stay tuned after this for the EU LCS rebroadcast immediately following the conclusion of this 5th game. You got some more League of Legends needs in your life that can fill the void, but right now we've still got a little more going on in this last NA Academy bout on Summoner's Rift for the day. Team Liquid Academy continuing to just knock down these objectives. They've already got 6 turrets to their name. This is going to be 7 as soon as Viper puts a couple more bullets into it. Team Liquid moving further into the enemy base. Inhibitor turret under siege. Roof comes down. Chains of Corruption come out. Joey looking to use the ulti. It's the stopwatch to keep Hard alive. Absolute Zero used, but Hard will go down this time. Joey and the rest of Team Liquid Academy getting themselves back. Phil has used the ultimate, gets himself away with about 1/3 HP left. Viper thought about rotating down to the fight, couldn't get there in time, now just goes back up topside, keeping that push going.
Yeah, Joey couldn't get the link onto Hard there when he got engaged on Mickey. In a little bit of trouble, able to kite out. So they were able actually to focus down Hard there despite having the Taric in range. It's pretty surprising to see the tank go down in that situation, but like we said, Joey just couldn't get the defensive abilities onto him. Dies after coming out of the stopwatch. Mickey tried to save him, push everyone back, but it's too little too late. CLG hang on, don't lose another inhibitor turret, but I'm sure Team Liquid, as soon as that respawn timer is up, will go right back to forcing the action.
And fortunately for CLG, they kept that last inhibitor turret alive just ever so slightly. So something else they possibly have to defend on, something that they can take a fight that they feel a little bit more comfortable with, and instead of something in open ground. 4,000 gold down isn't the end of the world, honestly. CLG Academy still in a spot where they could win this game.
Yeah, Mickey playing with some caution there, knowing that he doesn't want to get engaged on as he clears this mid lane. And you see Team Liquid still have a ton of wards down that bot lane, so they're going to move right back there as soon as this minion wave starts pressuring in. They want to get that turret, like you said, very low HP. They don't want to give it that time to regen back up.
CLG wants to make sure that they aren't just playing Team Liquid's game, though. Currently, you can see him sitting in the base, sort of stuck with that. That's the hand that they've been dealt, and it's so hard to get away from one of these situations without your opponents messing up. This goes back to that conversation about this Team Liquid team is very scary when ahead, and Viper just shooting these barrels to pieces before FallnBandit has a chance to set them off. Now the push in the bottom lane once again going to be working that magic. Mickey has rotated up to top side though, and that extra couple of seconds that he had on the rotation above anyone else means the turrets go down. There will be a kill onto Hard as the retaliation, but losing 2 different inhibitor turrets and an inhibitor for that is going to be more than fine. Why are they not putting one more auto attack into the inhibitor? It's still alive, by the way. Okay, the bottom lane one goes down. My statement was still correct. He lost 2 turrets and an inhibitor.
Man, I'm sad. I wanted to point out there's this weird Lucian bug where he was only running with 1 leg. Looked really funny, but now he's dead. I'm sure on respawn it'll be gone. We're at the point in the game where this is the kind of stuff I'm focusing at. We almost have triple inhibs down. Team Liquid Academy would rather take a 2v4 than finish off an inhib, so I don't feel like they're taking this game that seriously either right now.
Despite that fact, they're still up 4,000 gold with 1 inhibitor down in the enemy base. Infernal will be the next Drake. Baron's alive in 30 seconds. You have the most important inhibitor with the bottom lane one. So you're still in a good spot if you're Team Liquid Academy.
Do you think they wait 20 seconds for Baron or instantly run down mid lane?
I know what the answer should be. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah. Feels like they're taking this one a little slower. Gonna wait for Viper to respawn, get back on the map, probably get some pressure down the bot lane. Hopefully we see them set up proper 4-1 where they give CLG that impossible question of do you 5-man the Baron and potentially lose the game to a split-pushing Lucian, or do you deal with the Lucian and lose the Baron? Whoa, might not do either.
Hard making the face check there, ends up getting himself caught out, but Joey's got the ulti down onto 3 different people. Hard still in some trouble, gonna be channeling the absolute zero. Tuesday grabs the kill onto Shoryu. That one's gonna be huge. The culling comes out, but Bandit's got the kill onto Joey. CLG Academy looking to make something happen, but Mickey with a big shuffle, nearly taking down everyone, not taking down anyone. A double kill for Otto. It's 4 dead on the side of Team Liquid, and CLG will look for Baron.
Here comes the comeback. CLG find a 4-for-1. Tuesday went huge in that fight. Found the angle onto Shoryu because so many of the resources were spent focused on protecting Hard. Mickey went in at a time where it felt like he could get all those kills, and it almost worked out.
They were all down to 10%.
They were so low, but just not quite enough damage to actually do it. CLG grabbed their Baron buff. They only have a bot wave that is actually they have to worry about to super creeps. Taking a look at that fight as Hard just runs a little bit too close. You see that chain CC come in. Shoryu off on the side, walks a little too close. Tuesday just runs right at him. See, no one's dealing with him at all. Gets that kill. Mickey getting a lot of damage in here with that Nunu Blood Boil on. And then sees this 5-man ult, just barely misses Otto. If he didn't miss Otto and he actually hit him with that part of the ultimate, maybe they can clean up a lot more kills there, but not quite the case.
What a swing for CLG Academy. They managed to get themselves back to an even gold point. Like you said, with only 1 inhibitor down, that means you can just send your split pusher down there, have him clear out those super minions while he pushes with the Baron minions of his own. They're in a very good spot considering where they were just minutes ago.
You gotta say, on the side of Team Liquid Academy, this is somewhat of an expected outcome. You start playing this game this sloppy for this long, at one point, it's going to come back to bite you in a big way. So many mistimed ultimates, so many odd fights that they've been picking. Now they've lost the Baron. They lost the second Infernal of the game, and they're going to start losing control here. I mean, they do have great map advantage still with all their inners up versus no turrets in any lane available for the enemy team. But like you said, gold lead evened up with CLG with a better late game comp in some ways.
But can they secure it? CLG, this team, 2-7 overall record, has struggled to find success in the first 4 weeks of the North American Academy League. Taking down one of the front runners right now to close out week 5 would be a hell of a statement to make. And like we said at the beginning of this whole thing, Mark, they need to. If they want to have a chance to go into playoffs, they need to make sure that they put as many dents in the records of all these teams above them that they can and boost their own just as far as it possibly can go.
Yeah, main player kind of doing that for CLG Academy here is probably Otto with all the craziness with all the craziness that's been happening. Mickey constantly forcing 1v1s, Viper doing much of the same thing. It's very impressive that Otto has remained untouched on an immobile carry with how crazy this game has been going. 6-0-6, a very impressive scoreline. Also, by far the most CS in the game, so he's done a great job being involved in the fights that his teams are kind of getting forced on them while maintaining relevancy and farm.
He has nearly flame horizoned his opponent. Mickey going forward now on to Tuesday looking for something. He's got the blood boil from Hard. Such an incredible buff, like we've mentioned so many times, the Nunu Azir combo. Just one of the scariest things you can go up against if the Azir manages to scale up, get full items. He's at about 3.5 right now, so still plenty more of a way to go. Otto's Varus actually nearly done with his own itemization at this point. You can see a BF sword in the inventory. Could be turning into a lot of different things there. We'll have to see exactly what he wants to go for on that one. But CLG just continuing to use the last 30 seconds of this Baron to farm up, sort of stabilize themselves, right? This is a lot of times what you see happen with a Baron when a team's behind. It doesn't just become this, oh, we're pushing into you now. They stabilize. They let their inhibitors respawn. They gain some breathing room.
And it's especially problematic when you don't have any inhibitor turrets up. So you saw there, Hard and Mickey were kind of going for this roundabout play where they either try and 1v1 somebody or just backdoor the enemy inhib if they don't see it in time. So it is very difficult there. Huge engage, gets the flash out.
OmarGod goes in, both summoner spells out from Shoryu. Mickey into the back line, but he's by himself. Tuesday, 20% HP. Mickey's still gonna be firing off those soldiers on to FallnBandit. Bandit's Starix gauge does not proc off of that. OmarGod gets himself back away. The damage onto Tuesday, really the only thing that sticks here. As Team Liquid Academy moves down, grabs himself a Scuttle Crab, but there's no Elder Dragon to take just yet.
No Elder Dragon just yet, but when the Elder spawns, there's going to be a huge fight that should favor CLG. No flashes or heals available for any carry on the side of Team Liquid Academy. Viper does have his, I stand.
Yeah, we got to remember there's 3 carries.
Yeah, usually I'm not used to saying that.
This is a weird comp.
It is a little weird, but they do have him down the most critical members here. And so if OmarGod can find an engage or fill against the flashless members of TLA, CLG can pick one up, escort them into the back line, hopefully blow them up before the Taric ultimate comes in. And that's all they really need to win a fight here.
The Azir turret goes down. Still no timer on the Elder specifically. I did not get the time when the last Elemental Drake went down, so we'll see likely here in a couple of minutes when that Elder is going to be spawning. Remember, both these teams have a few Drakes under their belt. It's 3-2. 2 Oceans Infernal plus 1 Ocean Infernal.
The problem for CLG here is that there's just too much vision for Team Liquid Academy. You can see, other than that one specific part of the jungle that they're camping in right now, the river is littered with wards on both sides, and there's deep wards in the enemy jungle. So Team Liquid Academy should mostly be able to deduce here that they've either gone back to their base and they're shopping, or they're in that one specific part of that quadrant of the jungle.
I tell you what, though, I'm impressed with what I'm seeing from CLG so far, hanging on in this game, bringing themselves back. And yes, a lot of it is Team Liquid's fault for playing a very sloppy game, but at the same time, CLG capitalizing on that, taking these opportunities, going after the Tristana like you see right now, chasing for the damage into the ulti, not quite finding it. Shoryu getting himself away. That's flash down on the Syndra. That's a pretty important summoner spell to not have up. Scatter the Weak makes its way onto Joey, who's going to be forced to run all the way out now. Tier 2 turret under pressure will fall to CLG Academy as they push up further into the Team Liquid base.
They can keep going too. The Azir is
Mickey's
in the top
not
lane. Mickey, yeah, up in the top lane. You have Viper down in the bot lane. You just force some damage onto Shoryu. So OmarGod keeps just charging these elastic sync shots and throwing himself at any members. Viper taking the 1v1.
1 versus 1 between these two. This could mean a lot. FallnBandit likely going to lose it. The calling shuts him down. That's a big win for Team Liquid Academy and for Viper, as now the rest of TLA will stop the backs. Joey pops the ult. Can they keep these guys here long enough? The inhibitor goes down. Lots of bodies dropping, though. It's CLG Academy finding so many. And Viper is going to have to get back to the base. It's only hard running away. And CLG will now look to make even more happen. Viper will gun down these inhibitors, see if he can stall for as much time as possible. Make sure he's exerting pressure.
This is a really weird situation. Right now, CLG Academy do have a minion wave they're escorting, but they're about to lose all 3 Nexus or inhibitors, so they're going to have double super creep spawning in every single lane here.
Looks like here or you lose.
They just actually missed the timing on that spawn, so they're fine. They have the super creep wave to work with in the mid lane.
Viper and Hard have to hold the line right here. It's all of CLG Academy moving up, making these plays. 2 Nexus turrets down, moving on to the Nexus now. Team Liquid Academy, are they going to end up losing this game? Will CLG get what they came for? Hell yes, they will. They find the win against one of the top teams in Academy, and they get themselves off to a fantastic closure for Week 5.
Huge upset victory for CLG Academy there, punishing Team Liquid for their just very sloppy playstyle all around, and they finally find the fight. You saw Joey flashing in, forcing that fight out of nowhere after Viper had already won the 1v1. You can just play that slow. They brute force the fight. They get Zac ulted back into the Syndra, who just blows them all up, and they're able to lose that game somehow after having such control over it.
I mean, I can see where the idea came from for Liquid in that final fight, because you're saying, hey, Viper won the 1v1. All we got to do is just keep these guys from backing. He can shoot all the inhibitors up, and then we have all this map pressure. We just win the game automatically. But he went really hard in, and the whole thing just ended up being a giant mess. And CLG came back from a spot that looked really bad for themselves. 30 minutes in, specifically, they got a 4-for-1 plus Baron.
This is where we start seeing the fights start going wrong for Team Liquid Academy. We talk about how their team comp is pretty weird, and here no one stops Tuesday from just running forward and blowing up Shoryu. So he gets taken down right away. That's one of the 2 damage dealers. Mickey at full health is doing decent in this fight, but then he goes in for this big 4-man Azir ultimate, but he missed auto, the full HP, very strong Varus, who then cleans him up and is able to finish that fight off.
That Varus, man, Otto just did so much for his team that game. We talked about how he was deathless. We talked about his kill contribution, his farm. From the very beginning of this game, he was always ahead of Shoryu. He was ahead of the curve of the rest of the game. He made sure that win could happen.
Yeah, I think he's a huge factor in why that worked out so well. FallnBandit also, all things considered, I think he was 1-1-1, 25 minutes in the game after receiving multiple roams by Mickey. There's a lot of attention up there in the top lane. Too. Got counterpicked. They had the Nunu run up there a couple times. So FallnBandit did a good job surviving all that pressure. And though he did get solo killed right at the end of the game, the fact that the GP was relevant for that long and didn't just get blown out of the game completely is a big reason that game didn't snowball. And the gold lead, like you said, never went more than 4K.
It was well played by CLG Academy. They held on. They kept their cool. They made things happen. At the same time, Team Liquid Academy is going to need to rewatch this one because there were plenty of mistakes in there that they're going to need to address as a team and individually.
Yeah, we talked about, don't let this be a trap game. Take it seriously. Maintain focus. Complete failure.
Did not happen.
Absolute failure at maintaining focus over the course of this game. They were just picking fight after fight, not playing correctly at all, and then they lost the game off after that.
And that'll happen. You have to take every match seriously. You can't just go into it thinking it's going to be a freebie, because that's going to end up putting you in a spot where you might not have one of those spots guaranteed. Going into this, you were talking about the 3 teams at the top that are 7-2 or 7-3, something along those lines. They're the ones that look like, oh man, if everybody went to playoffs now, they're the 3 lock-ins. But if you make decisions like that, if you make choices like that every game, it's not going to be locked in for long.
Absolutely not. And we're only halfway through the split now, a little bit past that with 1 extra game. And so teams can catch up to you. And I think over the course of this split so far, we've seen Team Liquid look like the most vulnerable team, who they look crazy aggressive in their wins, but that sometimes they also just look like they're barely hanging on and making very dangerous plays.
Well, that upset concludes Week 5, and with Week 5 in the first round robin now complete, let's see how the teams stacked up. FlyQuest Academy now has sole possession of first place, with Team Liquid Academy and C9 Academy dropping down to second. Then it's TSM and Fox who gain an edge over the 3-way tie at 6th with their wins today, with CLG Academy edging out over Golden Guardians with their win that happened just now.
Yep, it was a pretty crazy weekend, all things considered. The games were hype, new players subbing in. We got Piglet and Levi making their appearance. It was a great weekend of Academy all around.
It was a good time for sure. That is it here for Academy today, but there's still lots of league action coming at you this weekend. The NALCS returns tomorrow with the same matchups, a big highlight being Game 3, where C9 Svenskeren takes on his old team in TSM.
Yeah, this is just such a great weekend all around. I mean, 100 Thieves went 0-2 against lower-seeded teams. Now they have to play Echo Fox, one of the top teams in the league. It's going to be very tough for them to maintain their win rate.
Clutch Gaming and FlyQuest, another couple of teams hanging out in the middle of the pack, vying for playoff viability. Optic versus Golden Guardians, two teams towards the bottom, also looking to get some of their own momentum, start pushing up again. So should be a really fun week of games here for the NALCS as well. But if that's too long to wait, coming right up is a rebroadcast of this morning's EULCS matches ahead of their live Day 2 broadcast starting at 8 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central European. Now for myself, Mark, the entire Academy crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. The Gangplank ulti will come down as well. Tuesday tries to get himself away, but the snowball for first blood. 2 versus 2 here. Over the wall goes Mickey. The shuffle comes through. The damage coming out. Tuesday taken down. FallnBandit now finding himself in the middle of a 4-way Team Liquid party. As Tuesday barely getting himself away, but the culling comes out. Tuesday going to kill onto Shoryu. That one's going to be huge. The culling comes out, but Bandit's going to kill onto Joey. CLG Academy looking to make something happen, but Mickey with a big shuffle nearly taking down everyone. Joey pops the ult. Can they keep these guys here long enough? The inhibitor goes down. Lots of bodies dropping though. It's CLG Academy finding so many.